Dad, why did you come to America? What was the real unfiltered reason?
Well, when I was in third year of my engineering, there is something called campus placement where the companies come, they'll recruit you, right?
Okay.
So I was sitting through that interview and that interviewer asked me, where do you see yourself 5 years from today?
What
And
did
I
you say?
said, I see myself sitting on 50 lakh rupees after,
50?
after 5 years. That was the only parameter I knew of success at that time. It was all about money, you know?
Yeah.
So I thought that would be the right answer. And that guy looked at my scorecard, my mark sheet, and said, your ambition and your grades are too far away from each other. It's not going to be possible. So I felt like, why did he say that? Then, of course, he did not select me, but I went back home and I started looking into how can I reach that 50 lakh, because it was not about that guy anymore. It was more about how can I prove myself that I'm worth something. You know, I have something in me, because the grades were not saying
Everyone
that.
does.
Yeah, so I went back home and I asked my friends and some seniors, and they were earning like 2 lakh rupees a year, 1.5 to 2 lakh rupees. That's like 10-15,000 rupees a month. And I'm like, with this pace, 50 lakh is not going to be possible. 50 lakh means it was $100,000. So I thought, okay, what is the easiest way to do that? And the easiest way was for me dollars. And I thought, okay, if I need to reach my goal of hitting that 50 lakh rupees, I need to earn in dollars. So it wasn't for I need to acquire knowledge and learn a lot of things. No, it was just my ambitious goal of reaching that milestone. And that's why that's the reason why I came to the US.
Nice.
I did the GRE, TOEFL, whatever is needed, and I did that.
Cool. What surprised you the most when you first landed here in America?
Man, America, I had only seen America in movies, the big skyscrapers and all that. But when I came here, it wasn't like that. Of course, I saw it when I landed first in Chicago and then in Dallas. But after that, when I came to my university town, it was like small little buildings, 1 or 2 story buildings. So that was the first surprise. Then my university campus was huge, 25,000 students in my university.
Wow.
So that was a shocker for me. I had never seen that kind of big university. So next one was, there was free pizza everywhere. I'm like,
pizza.
Free freaking food, and that is also pizza. And then I met the love of my life.
Is that mama?
No, chocolate chip cookies.
Oh my God.
Yeah, freshly baked chocolate chip cookies everywhere on campus. I'm like, oh my God, what is this? I gained like 8-9 pounds in my first year. So that was crazy. So I'm from Maharashtra in India, right? I only met Marathi speaking or Hindi speaking people. But in my university in Dallas, around Dallas, I met Tamils, Telugus, Punjabis, Delhi, from people from all over India. So I was kind of getting reintroduced to India in the US. I met a lot of people.
It just keeps growing.
Yeah, it is. So that's not what I was expecting, but that's what I saw in the US.
So far, America sounds exciting, but when did you first realize, okay, this is actually going to be hard?
Well, one of my seniors came to pick me up from the airport. Very first day, okay?
Okay.
While driving back home, he's like, what branch are you in? I told him my branch. He's like, bro, the job market is so bad. There are no jobs in our batch, whatever we are learning right now. Our master's degree is not going to be that good and you will have problems. I'm like, bro, let me just reach my destination, right? I did not have apartment or anything. And this guy was like scaring a shit out of me. Like, there are no jobs and also that was a kind of first panic moment. I'm like, okay, guess I'll have to figure out what it is going to be. And then after a few days, I started working, and it was Aramark. It is kind of cafe where I'm vacuuming, cleaning tables, flipping burgers. Yeah, $6.50 per hour. It was a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
But I earned my first dollar there, and that was the first step towards reaching my 50 lakh rupees target. Yeah, so that was the first step towards my goal, and that's where I realized no work is small as long as it is taking you to your dream.
Yep.
So yeah, those were hard. I wouldn't say hard days. Those were, I learned a lot during those days, student days, right? You're tough with your body and you don't care about much. So yeah, it was fun. So I learned a lot.
Dad, now we can video call Aji anytime. But back in 2005, how did you stay connected with everyone in India? Did you ever feel lonely?
Not lonely, but yeah, there was no WhatsApp. Forget about WhatsApp. There was no smartphone, and I come from a tier 3 city in India, so there was barely internet. But I made sure we have internet connection back in 2005 at my home, so that I could talk to my parents on Yahoo Messenger.
Oh,
Have you ever heard of Yahoo Messenger?
barely.
You have?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, interesting. So I used to talk on Yahoo Messenger, but for rest of the folks like Anju Attu or my friends, there used to be something called calling card. So $5, 30 minutes.
Oh.
So though I was earning $6.50 per hour, I used to buy that calling card and call my cousins, my friends every Sunday for 30 minutes. And
Nice.
that used to be my treat to myself. So that's what it was. And in terms of missing, well, I missed family and India during Diwali's, Dasra, the festive season, the
Yeah.
food. But other than that, we used to have some functions in our university, but I mean, it is not a replacement of what we used to do in India. So at that time, I realized that I'm basically building two lives, you know, one
Yeah.
in the US and one which I already had back home, which I left.
So when did America actually start feeling like home?
Okay, I graduated in 2007. So I started earning to around $60,000 per year.
Nice.
So I moved to Kansas City. That's where I met my girlfriend. Yes, it's of course your mom. And then I got my apartment. Yeah, so life was good after that. I got married in 2009. And then you were born. No, before you were born, we bought a house. 2010, we bought a house. And you were born in 2012. I guess the roots were going deeper. And that's where I felt like, yeah, America is home.
Then why did you leave all that and come back to India in 2017?
Okay, so before we got married, your mom and me, we promised each other that whenever our first kid will be 5-year-old, we will go back to India. We
Really?
both, yes. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
Okay, so that was always the plan. So you were born in 2012, you were 5-year-old in 2017. Remember your birthday?
Yeah.
You sat on the horse.
That was a big one.
Aji Adava did so many. I mean, that was a big birthday, right?
Yeah, everyone came.
Yeah. So we went. So we always wanted to go back. Our family was there. We wanted you to talk in Marathi. We wanted you to be closer to the culture, and we went there. But you know, I mean, we went back with the wrong expectations. India had moved on.
Yeah.
There was Western culture influence. Marathi was fading. Nobody was really talking Marathi. I mean,
true.
we have our reasons, of course. So our expectations were wrong. We were trying to find the India we left, but it had changed, and rightfully so. So we realized, maybe we did not come with correct expectations. So after some time, we wrapped up the India chapter and came back, but no regrets. I mean, we always had that kida to go back. But after we came back in 2017,
Yeah.
we always felt like, this is home. It felt like home, but now we are like wholeheartedly here. It doesn't feel like we want to go back. None of that. Otherwise, we used to say half of our heart is there and half of our heart is here, but probably we went back to India to pick the 50% of the heart and come back. We were like here wholeheartedly. After 2017, we never felt like
Nice.
we'll go back, and no double thoughts, no second thoughts.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
From the outside, it looked like you had everything: a good job, family, house. What happened that made you rethink your entire life?
In 2024,
Yep.
I think it was Jan 12th. I was driving back Swaraj from a taekwondo class, remember?
Yeah.
So mom called me. No, not my mom called me, not your mom. So my mom called me and said, bro, look, what is that? That's a snake. Look at that.
Oh, I see that.
Holy moly. Yeah, so my mom called me and said, Azuba is not doing well.
Oh, yeah.
He had brain hemorrhage, right? So I went back, and you probably don't know this story. So I went back on the same day. I flew back, and so I saw him in the hospital, dude. So we have a lot of relatives there. So they used to be there every day till 6 o'clock, and then everyone would go home, and then it used to be just Aji and me by him. So, and the internet signal wasn't that good. So there was no phone, nothing. So we were by his bedside or around him, and then
Just on the phone?
there was nothing to do on the phone. So you cannot really do anything on the phone. So I was by him. He wasn't well. I mean, he was of course in ICU. So I got a lot of time to think about life, to think about myself, to think about him. And I put myself into his bed. I'm like, he's 71, 72 now. I was 40, 41. So I'm like, this is 30 years.
Yeah.
So if I'm lying here on this bed, what would I want to look back in my life, and what would I want to remember about myself? So, and the first answers were not about $1 more million or 30% increase in salary or flying business class all the time.
Yeah.
And none of the material thing. It was more about who am I, what do I want to do in life, and how do I want to remember myself as.
You as a person.
I as a person, what were my choices, what have I done in life. And at that time, so I started thinking a lot about my life, and there is a concept called ikigai. You probably have not heard
Yeah,
of
we've
it.
done a video together.
Is it? Okay, so ikigai is something which you are good at, something which you love doing,
Something you want to pursue.
kind of, something which the world needs, and something they might be able to pay you in terms of either time or money. People pay me in terms of time now because they watch my videos.
Yeah.
And I had done fairly okay with finances. I used to understand all of that, and I loved creating content. At that time, I didn't start much. We barely started, right?
Yeah.
I was having too much fun, so I thought maybe this is something which I should pursue. And in terms of money, of course, I had you and Swaraj and our family is there, so it cannot be just like I don't want to work anymore from tomorrow, right? It cannot be like that. So I had that finances taken care of, so I thought maybe I should take this bet and do something new in life. And there were some corporate changes happening in my offices, so I volunteered to step down. I mean, there were some secret talks which I cannot talk here, but yeah, I mean, that's when I decided that I want to spend next 30 years, if I have those 30 years, doing what I love doing. And that's why, that's the answer of your question, basically.
Well said. Dad, you could have just retired and enjoyed life. Why did you put yourself back into work?
Work. Well, okay, bro, when you go out every evening, what time do you come back? 7:30, 8 o'clock?
Yeah.
We have to literally drag you inside the house, right? Why?
Because I'm having fun.
So you're either playing soccer or playing football or something, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel like work. You're sweating it out. Mama feels like you're working too hard.
Yeah.
So it's similar thing for me. I mean, you might feel it as work, but I don't feel it as work at all. It's too much fun for me. And that's why, I mean, people might think, and I get comments like that as well, right? Like, if you're working hard, you might earn some money as well, right? For your family.
Yeah.
I get those kind of things. But yeah, it's really not really work for me. And I worked for 17, 18 years. And when I was working, I mean, trust me, I never received so many DMs, so many IMs, so many emails thanking me that for what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So though they were paying me good amount of money, but I really never received that kind of emotional messages. So this is very fulfilling with what I'm doing. I get so many emails, man. So that kind of gives me that, maybe it would not be the right word to say dopamine hit or adrenaline hit, but that's what keeps me going. I just love doing what I do. So
Nice.
I don't feel like it's work really. And maybe, you know, one day when you guys grow up, you and Swaraj, you will watch my videos. You know, it has so much financial knowledge in it. So that is also one of the reasons why I do what I do, you know.
I'm learning so much, I might not need it.
Well, that will be amazing. All right, it was good video. Thank you. And hope you had fun. This was something different which you never did together, right?
Right.
Hope people will like it too.
Looks like you found your ikigai.
That's what it is. All right. Man, where is that snake?
It's in the bushes.
That was a big one though, right?
It wasn't.
Yo,
Oh, yeah.
it was thick. It was big.
Yeah.